What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Life of a Board Gamer. Another live painting we have over here. Sorry that I'm a little bit late. So yeah, tonight, since Who Goes There was on a Kickstarter recently, the second edition of the game was on a Kickstarter recently, and I just decided to paint some miniatures for Who Goes There. I have the first edition miniatures here. I think the second edition are the same. You even get some more. I'm not really sure about that. So yeah, these were staying unpainted for too long. So now we are going to change that if possible. And yeah, we are going to paint these 4 miniatures. Now, of course, as always, I want to challenge myself a little bit. So we are going to try and paint this in really quick time. Let's say hour and a half. So I really want to be done with this fast. I'll mostly use contrast colors. I might use some of these Vallejo colors if I think they're of more use, but what I want to do is I want to use only contrast colors because they do speed up the process and everything. And yeah, if you want to late pledge for the game, if you are interested in these types of games, there is a link in the description down below, so you can go and late pledge if you missed the Kickstarter. Who Goes There is one of the best traitor sort of games that I played, because it gives you paranoia from turn one. From turn one you are paranoid and you are thinking who might be the infected one. It is based on the Thing movie or books, or not really sure, but yeah. Crackhead says, I'm curious how they will turn out with contrast colors. I'm curious myself because I did not paint them yet. Yeah, I already based them. When I discovered the airbrush basing instead of rail can spray paint, I was born again, so to say. So I use this thing over here for spray painting, and it really works wonders, even though it is a little bit transparent. So if you look closely, let me just quickly check. Okay, if you look closely, you can see orange underneath it, and I left it there on purpose, just because I plan on painting them in their main colors. This one was orange basically, so I'm gonna paint his like attire orange. I know that does not match artwork on the cards and everything. He's more of a greenish, I think, but I will aim for the orange details. Just so you know, you are playing orange. This one is blue, this one is green, and this one is purple. So they have their names. This is Commander Gary. We have McReady over here with the flamethrower. We have Kinner, who provides food for you, and of course Dr. Cooper with his medical suitcase thing over here. So yeah, I think that is all the intro I have for you. So let's start painting. I have some reference pictures here that I want to use. So first, what I'm going to try and do is, when I'm using one color, I'm going to use it over multiple miniatures. I think that will speed up the process much more, so I'll definitely try and do that. And first thing first, no, let's not start with this one. I forgot to take all the colors that I'll need, so let me just ramble around and find all the right colors I need. Oh, where is it? Okay, so I'm gonna need this brown too, but what I need is actually Grief Charger gray. No, where is it? I have the gray one that I want to use and I cannot find it. I should have prepared better, but it is how it is. Okay, it's here. Basilicanum gray. It is really nice grayish color tone, so we're going to use this one. Wait, okay, so yeah, Basilicanum gray. Okay, so we are going to start by painting. Let me just move these guys aside for now, and let's see. First I'm going to start with I should definitely start with his clothes. Maybe no. Okay, so I decided I'm going this route, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so Basilicanum Gray we're going to use for the flamethrower, of course. And the great thing with contrast colors is you just slap them on and they work wonders. Okay, this brush is fairly too small for these details. I need a bigger brush that can take more colors in. This will speed up the process because we want to be done in less than an hour, ideally. I don't think it will happen, but I always like to challenge myself with ideas like these, you know, trying to paint something in an unreasonable fast amount of time. Okay, so it's pulling a little bit too much over here. I want to scoop that up. Of course, if I mess up something, I always can go with the white over it, and like I messed up right over here, but it's fine because that will be a little bit darker color, so no problem there. This is going to be a fairly simple job. I'm not going for like a super mega cool quality. I could go with lots of details like highlighting and everything, but the idea is to paint these quickly and to nice tabletop standards, so when you are playing the game you are playing with really nice painted miniatures and not this grade or whatever color they were, plastic, purple. Not that's anything wrong with it, but just that it looks better when you have miniatures painted. So anything is better than the white or gray or whatever color the miniatures are. So be aware of that this is not like a tutorial, this is not something that will bring you any rewards, this painting tonight or today, depending where you live. For me it's tonight, or depending if you're watching this or not, when you're watching this. So now I'm just a little bit sloppy. I don't care that much because I will come by and repair stuff that I mistakenly painted. So yeah, we could say that this guy is done. So I'm gonna still use that Basilicanum Gray to paint a fur on the coat of this guy. Maybe I could have diluted it a little bit to make it a little bit more transparent, not that dark, but we're not going to go and repair any mistakes tonight, at least small mistakes. Big mistakes of course we have to repair, so we're just going to wing it and we are just going to try and make it work even if it's not working. That's the challenge tonight. Otherwise it would be boring. This way it's way more fun, even for you to watch and see if I'm going to make it or not. Okay, so these are all done. I think I could go for his, like he has something on his head. This is like a cloth or something. I could paint that with the gray, but I'm gonna use a little bit smaller brush. And I see a few comments. I will get back to you in a second. I just want to finish one part before I start on the second one, because I lose track where I started, what I was doing. It happens. So yeah, this guy has like some sort of hoodie to keep his head warm during winter nights. thinking who might be the traitor or who might be infected. Okay, so we have to be really fast. The paint is drying up on this part. The contrast colors are really good for some things, but they tend to dry sometimes super fast, and that can provide some really nasty splotches of paint all around, so you need to be fast. And I think that's all of this color. No, I see something on this guy that I want to paint, and that's his gun and the carry case for the gun. Those could be like grayish, purplish, not purplish, grayish, blackish a little bit. So we're gonna paint that. Yeah, I should definitely put another coat of white on this one. On this one the paint did not catch that well. Not sure why, but I can see that. But it will give it a little bit different tone, which is also cool. Okay, so we have that cleared, and let me see what you are talking in the comment. Oh, we have some Rob Branch here, who knows a little bit about Who Goes There. Is based on the novel by John Campbell Jr., which the movie The Thing is based off, which the Thing, the board game, is based off the movie. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but not in that educated type. So yeah, that is correct. Out of curiosity, do I ever spray paint a base layer of black or white before painting? I'm getting into painting miniatures, and I heard that was a good idea to do. In most cases, yes. Yes. In some cases, no. It is really what you are trying to paint. There is these like zenithal highlight and all that stuff. Usually I just go and if I'm going to pay exclusively and only with contrast paints, I just use white. But sometimes I would go for zenithal highlight. I tried a few things to do a zenithal highlight and it looked good, but still I like it more if it's all white. But yes, definitely it is a good idea to to prime everything black first and then go with the white, maybe even with the gray, and then with the white just for some highlights, because that will speed up the process of painting and everything a little bit. Okay, so next thing, I want to paint green parts. Okay, so we're going to use Creed Camo contrast color, and yeah, Craig says you gotta get it fast with contrast or it gets messy. Yeah, also if you go over too much with the paint over one place, it will start to be very messy. You can control it to a certain extent. I managed to do so, but yeah, you are right. You have to be like super fast if you want to control it and all that. Okay, so this one we are going to paint his entire uniform with this Greed camo, and his carry case is going to go with the green. At least I think it is. We'll see. Okay, so this guy, since he's mostly green, he'll get like a full coat of green. So one thing also is these miniatures have a lot of, they're like a little bit elongated, and they have a lot of straight parts, and this is not good for contrast colors. When you have very big and flat areas of the miniature, contrast colors will show all their weaknesses there. But to a certain extent you can pull the paint where you want to, and get it in the places that you really want it to be without too much messing up. Of course, things can happen, you can mess up things, it's possible, so no worries. If you do, you can easily repair any mess you do. Just go with the white color over it and then come back and redo it. That's what I'm doing right now. I see that I do mistakes here and there, but once I'm ready to go over those places, I'll just take some white, actually a little bit grayish, not pure white, because this base coat is not pure white, it is more of a grayish white tone. So I'm gonna go with it once I'm done and repair those mistakes that I did, and then we are going to repaint the mistakes with the correct colors and everything. As you can see, I did some on the boot over here. It went, but boots are going to be like dark brown, so that will probably not show. I'm now deliberating, should I paint this bag of his in the same color, but I think it would look too of the samey, so I'm going to probably give it a little bit different type of green, but it's still going to be green. Okay. Okay, do we have any more green parts around this guy? I think not. I think we did all the greens. His bowl is kind of green also, but I should have made it maybe like a green camo, not green camo, but black or something. I don't know. We'll see. I did not devise the plan how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna wing it and see what comes out, because I like to paint miniatures like that. I usually have some idea what I want to do when I'm starting to paint the miniatures. I do my research, of course. I check out other people, how they did it, to maybe get some idea if I'm not sure on something, how I want to get it painted and everything. But in an essence, I just wing it. I start painting and see where it gets me. Sometimes the results are good, sometimes they are not, but it is more fun that way. It is more challenging and interesting. So yeah, that's how I'm approaching this paint job tonight. Mostly trying to figure it out and at the same time as you are watching. Okay, so there are some really touchy parts that I cannot reach with this big brush, so I have to switch to a smaller one just to reach those places. I'm sorry I cannot rotate the miniature so you can see what I'm doing, but actually I'm trying to reach this inner place over here. And I think I managed. Okay, this turned out pretty good. I like how green sits on this case. It looks like a medical help, but military style. Awesome. Okay, so this guy will get some green. Let's say that his shirt will be green, but only shirt, nothing else. And I definitely need a bigger brush for this because of the messing up and everything. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't went for the green shirt on this one. I know it's original art. It is green in the original art, but I think that was a mistake on my part. It will resemble too much to this guy, and I want them to look like a little bit different, but we'll see at the end once I put the orange in and more of the yellowish tones. Maybe I think he will look different enough. We'll have to see. Okay, so he also has like a hoodie over his ears. You know what, I'm gonna make that green one too, just because I like the uniformity. Is that a word even? I like when miniatures look uniformed, and then like when you have some sort of same look to them, even though in the real life that is not the case. That is, and I should probably put this up way closer than I'm painting. I'm sorry, I did not paint in a while now, and I always forget that the camera is running, and I should probably keep my mini so that the camera is filming it, so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so his head is also green. I just decided that because I don't know, it looks more natural, more like it should be like that. Okay. Yeah, he's more green than the guy that should be green actually. Yeah. Okay. So I think we did all the green parts. I don't know if I want to make anything else green on these miniatures. And now I want to go with the what color? What color is next? Okay, let's take a Killian green. Even though it says green, it is more bluish, but no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. Okay, we have ultramarine blue, so that is next. We are going to do some blue colors. And Kotska is with us. Hello, Kotska. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to shake this bottle very well because you see the pigment usually sits down if you don't use paint for some time, and this is really darkish brown, so I don't use it that often. So I just need to shake it very well before the use. And this contrast does not want to, this pigment does not want to mix well. I mean, Steph, you see it's really hard to get it off. I should probably put some ball bearings inside. That's what usually people do. They put some ball bearings and then you can take out the miniatures way easier. So yeah, let me just check out something. I want some ideas. Yeah, I think I'm going to go that route. Okay, so the next thing is the blue. We don't have many of blue. This guy is mostly blue, others are not, so we're just going to keep it on him. And I'm deliberating, is this dark blue going to be for his pants and then the lighter blue for, because this game is very vivid with colors and I don't want to mute the miniatures too much. I don't want them to look like super dark. So town, you know what, I'm going to go with the darker color on the pants and the lighter on the jacket, just because the jacket is more up there, so I know it will show up more. So we're just going to use this dark blue on his pants. Now this is the color that you really want to stretch down and up as you go, otherwise you will get a really streaky, not cool looking miniature. Man, this is some really hard angles to catch on this miniature. I'm sorry that I'm not talking anything, but I'm really trying to concentrate, because I don't really want to mess up with this color, since this color is really dark and repairing it would be a nightmare. No, this is not the best job I did with this blue, most definitely, but it's not the worst job I did with it. I was not fast enough on some places, so it looks a little bit weird, but you will forgive me that. Okay, so we have dark blue for his pants, and who else should have like dark blue something? I don't know. I have to use it on something else, since I don't want to get back to it. Once I close it, I don't want to open it up. I want it to be done with. Oh, okay, I see some little details on this guy, like these like, what are they, pouches or something. I did made some mistakes. I did go with the green over here, but I think that this blue will cover it really nicely. It will not show, since this blue is really dark blue. It looks kind of cool. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. Sometimes you can get away with the contrast colors if you mess up, since you know these are darker colors, so excuse me, so the darker colors are way easier to cover the mistakes and everything. You know what I'm gonna do next? I think I'm done with the blue color, that's for sure. So I'm gonna use a Griff Charger gray. This is like gray but with more bluish tone in it, and I have few parts that I want to do before I continue on to the next things. So first of all, no, let's just leave him. Since this guy is mostly blue, I want to keep him like that, so we're going now. This is never a good thing to use that many blue colors, or any color, like few different hues of the same color usually ends up bad, but we're going to risk it and see what happens. And while I'm here, I'm gonna paint his glasses with this color. Just give it like a little more of a glazing than actually a painting. Okay, You don't even see it on a camera correctly, but it's there. Okay, so we get that covered, and I want to use this on his fur. Have I ever tipped over one of these pots? You should go and watch my first, I think, painting video that I did with these. It was, it is when I painted these little ninjas from, oh my god, what's the name of the game? What's the name of the game? I forgot the name of the game. It's some ninja, little ninjas game, little chibi miniatures. Go watch that video. It is in 2 parts or in 3 parts. I'm not really sure, can't remember now. For a reason, I I did exactly what you're asking if I did. Yeah, I spilled it, and I managed to scoop it up with the brush. It was just insane. And the great thing is, the awesome thing in that video is I spill over the paint. The paint goes all over the table, and I'm so in shock that I actually don't try to uh, minimize the damage or anything. I just take my brush, I dip it on the table in the paint, and I continue painting for whatever reason. It was funny, and I was completely unaware of that. But once when I watched the replay, I saw what I did, and I was like, "What the hell, man?" So yeah, I did spill over paint more than a few times. Okay, so this guy also needs fur coat of his own. Anthony asks, I'm curious, would it help the paint be less streaky if you had added a little flow improver to help slow down the drying time? I have this thing over here, contrast medium. This is basically to dilute the contrast paints a little bit. Uh, it can help you out with the streaking, most definitely, but it is just how the paint behaves. With the contrast paints, if you go again and again over the same places like I'm doing now, you have to really know what you're doing and why you're doing it. The pigments are really strange in this one, but I like it. I like how it works, how it how it oh my god, I forgot the word. Wait, English is not my first language, of course. So I like how it is behaving. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, next thing, what I want to do, I have idea, but I need a brown color for it, and I cannot find it anywhere. So no, not this one, not this one. No, you know what I want to do? Let's go and paint their skin tones. So for skin tones, I'm going to use Gilliman Flesh on all the miniatures. So yeah, I could dilute miniatures. It would slow up the process a little bit, but you can do it both ways. You can paint it without diluting, or you can paint with diluting miniatures. My best man, he's also a painter guy, and he always dilutes all of his paints, all of his contrast paints. He's always diluting them almost in 50-50, and I don't do it. I just find it a little bit messy to do. I have these like drops that I use, and I usually would use them, but I don't know. I just like using these paints straight from the pot, because once you dilute them, they do have a little bit less pigment in them, so they are more see-through. See, this hand I need to repair some. There is some. Okay, so I did not watch carefully, and I need to repair some of the mistakes on the skin tones. So I have my like wet palette over here. This is a homebrew wet palette, nothing special. I just had some parts, fishing parts, something like that, and I made that into a wet palette. I plan on upgrading one day to a real professional one, but it's still not that time. So I'm just putting up this like what I'm doing is I'm putting this sky gray. It is almost a white but more of a grayish tone, and I'm just using it to cover up the mistakes that I did, the ones we talked about. So like this one over here, and if I did this with white it would be way worse, so I'm doing this for a reason with this color. So he has these sideburns here that I completely went over with the wrong color, so we want to change that if possible. Okay, and of course I will not paint eyes on these miniatures because I don't know how to paint eyes. I will admit it right away. Painting eyes is my nightmare. I tried, they always look goofy. I know how to do it, I know the process, I know the techniques and everything. I'm just bad at it. I'm just super super bad at it, and I really don't want to do it. So please don't make me paint eyes on these miniatures, even though they have some of the bigger eyes, so that would be like a little bit easier, but still. Okay, so I just need to make this repairs, and I did some mistake over here. Let's see, I know I did some over here, so I'm just gonna go and repair now these mistakes that I did, because I need them to dry out. Actually, since this guy is going to be a purple guy, I will need to dilute paint, because the purple paint is really heavy with the it's really heavy with the pigments in it. The pigments are really heavy, so I want to dilute it a little bit, but still I fear that it will look probably not that good with the contrast colors. You would definitely get a better result. Some of the contrast colors are not that good, and you would probably get a better result with the normal color, but tonight we are trying to be fast and make miniatures look good, so we will not care about that. That is the trade-off. You can either have painted minis that don't look all that great in all the places, but then you did not spend too much time on them, or you can take like 4 hours per miniature or even more if you are crazy, and you will have miniatures worth some prizes or something. Okay, so oh, his hand, I forgot his other hand. So yeah, see, I did some green underneath his hand, over here, underneath here, over here there is some green on his hand, but nobody will see it because you're watching miniatures from this angle. So these kinds of things you really need to just go over and not go and repair it. First, when I started painting, I was always painting these stuff when I did like mistake, I would always go and repaint it, but nobody goes and looks underneath over here and see, oh, you have some green over here. Nobody does that. Of course, if you are painting for a award winning or something along those lines, you will need to go and repaint these because you are competing. But if you are not, like I am, I don't compete in any type of painting miniature contests. I just lack the time, because these miniatures really require you to have a lot of free time on your hand. And the problem is that when I start painting miniature, I always like to do it as quickly as possible. You know, when I start painting miniatures, I want to be done. I'm starting, I'm painting, and I'm done. That's how I want to paint my miniatures. So I apologize in advance if you expected me to make these look like work of art. Now I deliberately went over this miniature with a little bit more color, just to give it a little bit differentiate, to look a little bit different. You see, this guy looks like he's a little bit pale against him, and I want to go for that. I have other skin tones, but as I told you, we want to paint these with as few paints as possible and as fast as possible. So it is not realistic that they all have the same skin tone, but they will have for this iteration. Okay, so this guy is holding like a can or something. I don't know what what green should I use for the can. I think I should use some like super dark green, maybe the one that I will do for his backpack. Or maybe his backpack could be a little bit more like a yellowish, and not go with the standard green on green with green. And now when I'm looking at these his pockets of his, they really don't fit here. These blue pockets, they really don't fit. So this is the thing that I think I will probably change and make them brown, same brown as his boots will be brown, for example. I don't know. I still have to get an idea what I want to do. Okay, so we are done with the all skin tones. Wow, and we are 43 minutes in, so this means that we will not be done with this in an hour, most definitely, even though I'm trying my best, but I guess I overestimated myself. I'm just opening some contrast paints because I want to see what I want to do. Okay, so I need shish purple, because I want to paint this guy who needs to be purple. And did I just ended the stream? Oh my god. Da fuck. Questo è idiot. Or is he still live? I'm still live. Yeah. So I am an idiot. Are we live? Are we still live? Please, someone tell me, are we still live? So me, an intellectual, just pressed a few wrong buttons, and I turned off the window for you are here. That means, okay, I get some messages that I'm not that smooth streaming is not possible. I'm sorry. I hope everything will get back in the normal soon. And yeah, I did a little mistake. I accidentally hit on the wrong to open in the same window, and I had this window open for the live stream, so I'm sorry. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to use this shish purple. Still live, nice. So you heard me and my wife in panic. Oh my god, what's happening? So yeah, this shish purple, we are going to, as you can see, it is really dark color, and we are going to try and dilute it a little bit so we can paint this guy up. And I'm going to use my wet palette for that, because if I use this just as it is really dark color. I can show you how dark it is, since I will be repainting their bases with the regular colors, just to show you how dark this paint is. As you can see, it is like super dark. It is almost black, and I really don't want that. So we are going to try and dilute it with the contrast medium. This is going to slow us a little bit, but that's the price we have to pay. Okay, so I'm just doing this off the camera, but I should probably show you what I'm doing. So basically I just put some wait I just put some purple over here, and now I'm just dabbing all around with this diluted, with this contrast medium thingy. And we are just going to, let me just close this up so I don't spill it over, and we are just going to try and slowly dilute it and see when I'm going to be okay with it. I think this consistency would be okay, but we will not know unless we try it. So I'm going to just use the base to see. Yeah, as you can see now, it's much brighter, with much better color now. So we are going to use that, and we are going to paint this guy purple, most of it at least. So yeah, he is going to be the purple guy, and I'm deliberately going heavy on it, because now when I diluted it, it is more clear color. It loses a little bit in the coverage, so I want to go over a few places, few times, just to get more pigment in there. Okay, still live. Yes, we are still live. That was a panic attack of mine. Oh my god, that never happened to me. But I had a real like panic. Oh my god, what did I do? What did I do? But now I know something new about live streams, so you can get out of the window and it will continue streaming, even though it will have some problems, which is good thing to know if that ever happens again, but I hope it doesn't. It did not felt good. So this will look a little bit splodgy, and I'm not really enjoying it, but it is better than just having no paint on the miniature. So as I already said once more, it's a trade-off I'm willing to do. I just might do a second coat of purple maybe. So I'm just gonna switch on a little bit smaller brush because this part over here I cannot get to without messing everything up. So once it dries out, I just might go with a second coat of purple on it. I think that would work actually, but we'll have to see. Looks okay. It's a little bit sloppy work on some places, I know that. I can drive off contrast. I can just pick it up and put it somewhere else. So I still get the message that viewers will experience buffering. I hope everything is okay. I hope you can receive me correctly. Okay, what else can we make purple while we have it here? Nothing actually. Okay, so we're gonna leave this guy to dry off that purple color, and in the meantime we are going to, seems fine here. Okay, because I get this stupid error message, but okay, if it's fine, if you are receiving me correctly, then I have nothing more to say than paint on. So I'm just gonna remove this a little bit because we don't need it now, because now we are going to use wildwood brown, or wildwood, contrast wildwood. Now we are going to paint some brown parts. Okay, so for the brown, what are we going to do with this? What is going to be brown? Okay, no, I decided, and I'm bringing this back. I know I'm going back and forth, sorry, but this guy, these blue pockets or these blue like things, they don't work. This just does not look good on him. Blue and green don't work good together, so we are going to repaint over that, and they're going to be brown. So we're just going to wait for this to dry off and paint something else, and once this is dried we're going to use brown and then go and paint these. Has lots of other details because lots of them have boots, and boots are mainly brown, you know. So yeah, okay, let's work on some other stuff. Okay, let's see, what else can we do? This guy looks like he almost all dried up. Nope, he's not yet ready yet, but the second coat will definitely make it look better. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use, where is it, I have nice orange, Griffhound orange, and we are going to go over this guy and paint his pants and all these parts on the upper body with the orange. So this is our orange guy, even though he's mostly green. But hey, okay, so this is a little bit like a darker orange, and it almost looks like a red probably on a camera to you, but I promise you it's an orange color, it's not red. It's really nice, like rich orange, and I really like it. I use it whenever I can on any miniature. So I just did a little mistake, but it looks like a shadow, so nobody will notice. And also one thing I hate painting is the round things, when you need to go around and around, like, you know, like weapons and stuff like that, and when you need to go around it, I always miss some parts. Always. It is like 100% that I will miss on few things. No new comments. Okay, continue painting. So yeah, any so you guys from the chat that you are watching currently right now, has any of you played this game? Have you backed it or anything? And one more thing I need to stress, this is not a paid promotion or anything. I just think the game is good, and I got in touch with the Certifiable studio guys and asked them, do you want me to do like a live and paint these miniatures, you know, because you have the really great game, and then it would be a shame if I can help somehow drive some more views to it, you know. Why not? And I like to paint miniatures, so it's a win-win situation basically. So if have any of you played this game, what do you think of it? Because my experience was really interesting with this game. But first I want to hear what you have to say before I tell you about mine. Okay, so his pants are also orange, of course, because he's the orange dude. So I guess hour and a half is more realistic that we are going to paint these miniatures for. I guess 1 hour was really bad estimation on my part. Okay, so the orange dude is done. He looks like he's in pajamas or something. Really funny looking guy. So Craig has played it few times so far and went for the deluxe upgrade with the new campaign. Yeah, and this game, what I like about it is, so I'm just gonna pop this one an orange badge just because I have the orange open, so you know, why not? I could even make this bowl orange. That would be cool, right? Okay. Yeah, I when we play this game, so when everybody teach the game and I told them, you know, how they can get infected and everything. Okay, I sounded like super stupid now. Infected and everything. So yeah, when I teach them the game, and I explain, like, you know, you have to be very careful who are you sleeping with at night, because if they are infected, they can infect you. And on turn one, nobody is infected, of course. And right from the turn one, everybody was like, oh, I'm not sleeping with you, oh, I'm just going to go out and sleep alone. And we lost so bad because we were very paranoid from turn one, and you have to be, because that's the type of the game. But it actually really taught me that it's hard to win this game if you are not willing to take some risks, you know. So yeah, it was really interesting to see that people were instantly like, nope, I'm not bunking up with you, you are probably the bad guy, so get away from me. Yeah, it was really fun. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a Blood Angels red, and just while I'm waiting for this guy to dry off, because I'm going to switch to him very quickly, I'm going to use a super fine brush. As you can see, it is really tiny, because I just wanted to paint this plus. Of course I want it to be red, so I'll probably mess up and have some red around, but I'll have to just go and cover it again with, and I just dropped my brush, and I probably messed up a few things along the way. Yeah, this night is going really weird. Okay, so I see that when I covered it with the white I didn't do the good job, so I guess I'll just have to come and cover it again. But in the meantime I have too much paint, so it's like pouring all over. We'll have to come by and repair, because this now looks really awful. But once we come back and repair it with the white, it will look okay, so no worries. I just have to remember to not leave it like that, because it looks not good. And I think he has some cross or something over here. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, if I'm going to show it any attention or just paint it one color. I mean, I probably should, because we really want to be done quickly. Okay, I just want this one to dry off, but in the meantime this one is all dried up. As you can see, he doesn't look so streaky, maybe a little bit over here on the back. So I guess I'm going to go with one more coat of this Shish purple that I watered down. And well, I never did this actually. I never did with 2 coats, but I think it will work, so stay with me and see how I messed up the miniature. So if I mess it up, I messed it up. I will probably repair it, but not now. I will do it off the camera, and I will tell you if I'm going to do it or not. For now I'm just going to go with the second coat and see if I can get some better results that way. Oh man, it looks a little bit darker, definitely, but maybe it will look a little bit better than just one coat. Just if I don't mess up where the shadows go, and if I pull the pigment of the right places, I think it will work. Okay, I have too much. I definitely have too much on the paint. Where can I use some of that paint first? Okay, let's see. There's definitely too much paint on this hand. This other one will look, I don't know. I think I might have maybe left it like it was at the first start, you know, with just one coat. Some places look better, some look worse, if you ask, in my opinion. So on some places I like it how it turned out, but on some other places I really don't. It looks weird on a camera now because of the light and everything. He looks too dark. He's not that dark as it looks like it is. So have that in mind, that what you see on the camera might not represent the right colors in the real life. Okay, let's remove this. Messing up is just discovering a way on how to not do it. Or most definitely yes, that is how you don't do it. And yeah, okay, now on to browns. Okay, so wildwood, contrast wildwood. This paint is going to be used a lot now because we are going to use it on a lot of different surfaces. So we're gonna paint a lot with this one. All the straps, all the belts, everything is going to be brown. So this will save us some time for sure, you know, to reach our goal of painting miniatures fast. Okay, I did messed up a little bit here, but nothing noticeable, so I will not go and repair it. I'll just pretend that it did not happen. And of course his pockets that we first had in blue, they look way better brown, most definitely. So I like that we decided to correct that. Because nobody would make blue-green type of clothes. That just does not work together. Okay. So first I'm going to go just over the small parts like belts, buckles, stuff like that, and then I'm going to go on the boots. All of their boots will be brown. I just don't want to mess up with that too much. One of them might have black or different boots, just because I can. Okay, so for this one I have an idea. So I wanted this that he has over the head, I wanted it to be also brown, but I think I'm gonna go with one different color that is more like yellowish a little bit, just to, since he will be too dark. He has all the dark browns, dark purple and everything, you know, so we want to give him something a little bit lighter to draw attention, to draw your eyes, to draw your eyes to, you know, the spot color, as somebody say. What's our time? How long are we painting for? Hour and 7 minutes. Come on, we can do it. I think we have a good time right now, but I was really sure that I can do it in under an hour, at least for this like regular normal job, nothing too fancy or anything like that, but I guess that even requires some more fine work than I thought, but it's okay. So I have to be very careful. There is still some purple drying here, so I don't want to mess that. Okay, I missed a little spot around down here, so I'm just gonna paint it like so and not worry too much about it. Okay, this one is done, and this one has all it needs to be done. This one just needs the boots. For that we're going to use a bigger brush. And this guy, does he has anything that we need to make it look brown? I don't know, I don't see anything. Okay, so we are done with the no, we are not done. We need to paint all the boots. Oh my god, I am so not focused right now. Okay, so this guy will most definitely get the brown boots. So we're just going to quickly go over I have to be careful because their legs are a little bit in the snow, covered in the snow, so I'll have to redo some of these at the end. Yeah, I'm worrying too much trying to be super careful around bases, and it's just not going to happen, so I'll just need to quit thinking about it and just go with the flow. Paint the boat. I will most definitely need to come back and repair some of these, so why bother now? I mean, I'm still trying to be like as neat as possible, but I understand that some of them I'll need to go over again. You know what? This thing over here that he has, I'm gonna paint this brown. It is like a fork or spoon or something, so I'm just gonna paint it brown to speed up the process a little bit, and I'll give this guy brown boots just because against this one that is too dark, this one is like super shiny all over the place, so we need some dark spots on him, something, so he's not like shining against all the other guys. Okay. I'm sorry for the dead air, but I don't know what to tell you, what else to tell you. Okay, so I really messed up over here. I went, and over here I went too much. You see, I completely splodged on his, so I almost definitely need to repair that. That's because I want to be fast and I want to hurry up and do things quickly, but it's just not happening. Okay, next thing, I'm gonna go with this Talsar blue to paint this guy's jacket. Okay. So this should be a fairly quick job because these are really like smooth, nice surfaces that really there is no much room for a mistake. And this is really bright blue, I know that, I was aware when I started painting, but I think it will look okay. So as I already said, I want these miniatures to be in the same category as the artwork, so they don't be too gloomy or too. I'm just gonna paint over his marking on the shoulder and deal with it later. It's much easier than to avoid it. Yep, I like how this blue turned out on his jacket. It really makes it pop a little bit. Okay. This was done super fast, but luckily, wait, I don't want to tell with no mistakes because I still have few things to paint, but luckily with no mistakes. That is that on this guy. This blue, I don't think I want to use it anywhere else. It is just too blue for anything else. Okay. Next thing, we have this thing called snakebite leather. Where is it? Not Egger's Dunes. Snakebite leather. Where is it? I cannot find it anywhere. Where is it? Snakebite leather. Snakebite leather is the next color we are going to use. It is more like a grayish brownish color. And we are going to use this mainly on this fellow over here and on some other places too, but mainly on this guy. So no, this is too small brush. I really need a little bit bigger brush than that, but still I need it fairly small because I need to go over some fine details that I don't want to go over other parts of the miniature. As you can see, it has this like dirty yellowish brownish look to it. And I think it will sit well. And I'm going to also use it to paint some of these guys' mustaches and their hairs and stuff like that. Okay, they're really starting to look like a nice unit. I might use oh my god, my words, my English. I should have used maybe a little more colors than I did. They did turn out a little bit too bland on some parts, but yeah. So this guy is going to get these yellowish brownish mustache, and some of his hair is showing up here, so they all have like sideburns and everything. I guess that was the main thing in those days, to have like big sideburns. So just going to switch to a bigger brush to paint his boots with this color too. Okay. I think this color is really great. I love it, but I think it was a wrong color for this guy. I maybe should have went with a little bit lighter yellow. There are some other options here that I could have used, but that's one of the mistakes I'll have to own. If I had more time, I would most definitely change it, but as we already talked, we're going to do this fast, and fast means no repairs. Okay, I think we're done with this one. I don't want to use it on anything else, or do I want to? Maybe. No. Yes. No. 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 Okay, what is next? We need like something like that is super dark green. I have something like that. It's called militarium green. We are going to use for this guy backpack. He's going to have like a really dark backpack and green color in general. So this will be a super quick job. And once we paint this, all the big parts are done. Then we just need to do all the few things, bits and bobs over here and there, and we are done. So this one is not that dark. I thought it would be a much darker green color, but for some reason it is actually lighter, and I was sure it will be way darker green color. Well, that's weird. That's what I was not expecting. That was not what I was aiming for. Okay. You know what we are going to do? We're going to use this green. I know that it's counter logic and everything, but we're going to use this green to paint all these cans that he has, cans of food that he's carrying around. So we're going to paint all these cans green also, because cans are green. These are beans probably, and there are some cans in the snow, so we are going to paint these too. And once we are done with repairing few mistakes, all we need to do is finish the bases, and these miniatures will be complete. Oh, and a few hairs and stuff like that. Okay, so this green is done. Looks good though. Yeah, it really looks good. I mean, it gives it that military lookish, like greenish. I don't know, it looks really good. I will most definitely remember that when I'm painting some other stuff that needs to be green. Okay, now I need to go with the Black Templar and do all the black parts on the miniatures. So that is mainly this guy's hair, because I saw it on a picture that his hair is black, so I decided I want to do it like that also. And his shoes, he has shoes of course, and his shoes are going to be black, because he does not have boots but actually shoes. At least that's how they look. It's really challenging to paint these. we need to paint his hair black. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to spill this, so I need to be like super careful. He has eyebrows and everything, but I'm not going to go for that because I know I'm going to mess up and just everything will look awful. And this guy will also have like black hair and all the facial features. Like he also has like these sideburns going on and some sort of beard, so we are going to paint that also. I did mess it up a little bit, but nothing much. And while we are here, I'm thinking of doing something just to make it a little bit visually different. Okay, let's do one extra little step because it is like nothing special, but it will make this backpack look way better, and that's I'm going to go over the black, over some of the parts of it with the black, just to make some kind of different textures, you know, stuff like that. I know that he's already very dark, but he's the dark guy of the crew, so we're going to honor that. My hands are shaking in this position really hard. Oh man, too much shaking going on. See, it looks way better now. Just a few little details, painted black, and all looks good now. Much better. Okay, so we did this, we did that. One more thing that we need to do is decide what type of color of hair will this guy have. And I think we are going to go also with a yellow, but a lighter one, Agarose Dunes. It is, did I already did the Agarose Dunes? No, I did a snakebite leather. That's a different color. This one is very similar to snakebite leather, but it is a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if it's going to show on this, like only his hair, but I think it will be a little bit lighter color, so he will look a little bit different. one thing I want to do, I want to take this skeleton horde. This is like super light brown color. Yeah, Black Templar was really hard to find once these showed up. Black Templar was super hard to find. I was lucky enough to get them all right when they showed up, and I'm really happy for that. So this stew of his, or whatever this food is, we're just going to paint with this yucky color, because I presume this is not a nice food he has over here. It looks like I don't know what. Okay, now on to repairing stuff, and then we need to paint the snow. And for the snow we are going to use some really light color, and we are going to use almost a damp brush with a very little pigment in it. You'll see what I'm talking about once I get to it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go and fix the snow, just paint the entire base with that sky gray color, because the snow is never like pure white. Nothing in a nature is only white and only black, so when you paint with these colors they tend to look like weird, and that's the reason. And we need to repair that mess up that I did on this guy, on his leg, so we need to repair that and repaint that before we can call this done. And this guy needs to that. Whoops, my miniature almost fell. So I'm just going quickly over the miniature, but I really need much more paint that I have on here, and I diluted it with water, roughly in a 50-50 mix, but I just like to keep it very runny. As you can see, it's almost like I'm just putting some dirty water on the miniature, on the base over here, because if you don't water your colors enough, they tend to be like a little bit like a chalky, and they don't look good. They really don't look good. So these are like final steps. We are very soon going to be over with these miniatures. So yeah, we just need to use some paints to paint the bases and everything, but for now. And I know there is some mold lines on these miniatures, and if you are a real painter, you will remove these, you will take care of these. And I am a real painter, you could say, but I don't really care that much about mold lines, because all the videos that I create are for beginners, you know, for people who are beginning painting, who want to. So I don't use any fancy techniques, and if I do, I really explain how they work and tell you that some practice is needed to have this thing, to know how to properly use techniques like that. But when I paint, I just paint for fun and for enjoying of the process itself of creating something out of nothing, and that's why I do it. And these videos are more made for you, to get you motivated, to see that with just a little bit of effort you can get some really nice results. If you are interested in these type of things, of course. If you're not interested into painting that much, then like my friend Kotska over here, I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was at one of my classes of when I teach people how to paint, and he was there. He gave his best and he said, "Nah, man, that's not for me. Thank you. I will not do it again." And I was like, that's fine, you can decide if you're not up to it or not, but I think everyone can learn how to paint and everyone can be good at it. It is just something that is gained with time and with lots and lots of tries and errors to know what works how. And yeah, those are my wise words for tonight. I don't have anything else to say. Okay, so we did that. So this one is soaring. this is not good. This thing over here is not good, so I want to repair that. I want to go with the orange over it, because that was really a big mistake, and I cannot leave it like that. So I'm just gonna put some white on it, wait for it to dry off, and then we are going to paint it orange again. So right now we need to wait for these paints to dry, but before that happens, because we went in a really really diluted color, I used really diluted color, maybe too much, so some of the darker parts are showing up, like around this leg. If you can see, it did not cover well, so we're just gonna go over with a little bit, like a second coat, but this is like a little bit less diluted color, and now it covers better. How much dilution is needed, it's up to you to discover. You really need to learn it for yourself. It's really hard to say. You need to have like a running color, but you really don't want to overdo it like I did just now. Or if you do it a little bit less, then you'll have like these weird brush strokes showing all over the place, and you really don't want that. So I'm just repairing a few of these that showed up. The best thing now would be for me to use like a blow dryer or something to speed up the process, but that is not an option because I have a little kid sleeping in the next room. That's why I'm a little bit quiet through all these videos, so if you have like a trouble hearing me or something, I apologize, but I cannot yell any louder because I would wake up the little guy, and that's not an option, because then I would not be able to film all these. Yeah, I just noticed I did a little mistake here, as you can see on his fur that he has around the neck, so it has like a little splodge of brown here, so I'm gonna fix that later. I just don't want to bother you now with that. I'm gonna go over it once we are done. And now, as I thought we are done, but we are not, I'm going to use some white, even though I said nothing is really white in the nature, and I still mean that, but I still need white. I just need to find it. I have too much colors. Okay, so we're going to use a foundation, no, not foundation white, but as you can see, do you see this red? That's when I spilled one of my contrast colors. That was one of the, okay, so just a regular white, not foundation white. Foundation white is more chalky. So this one I'm going to use to dry brush a little bit on the bases here and there, just to give it a little bit different texture. When I go over with the blue, it will show up differently at places, and it will visually look way better. So, and also I want to repair this with the white. I want it to be like clear white, just so it pops a little bit more. Okay, so for that, first I'm going to go over this guy and repair that. Just because I think I'm going to need two very thin coats if I want it to look good and if I don't want it to mess it up. So this is really like me trying to keep my hands steady, and it is not going well. I already messed up a little bit, but you know what, I'm gonna leave it because that's the best I can do. And you have to know your limits, recognize them, and live with them. So this is the best I can do in this one, so I'm gonna leave it. It could be a little bit better, but it is how it is. I'm not gonna be bothered by it. And yeah, I said I want to dry brush a few things. Okay, so I think you are all familiar with the term dry brush, but if you are not, basically what you do is you take like a big brush like this one, for example, you see, you dab it on a color so it goes all over the bristles, as you can see, and then you just dab it on a tissue paper or something until most of it is out, and then it is like the brush is almost dry, but it's not. And then let me just dry it a little bit more, and then you just go and slightly go with a left and right or circular motion depending on the surface, and this is too much. So this was not really dried, but we're gonna make it work. So you just go and dry brush. So this is like not good. This is very bad what I'm doing right now. So don't use this as an example how to dry brush. This is a very bad example, but I'm just gonna stick with it because I want to be finished with these miniatures. And I'm just dry brushing it here and there, just making some parts of it more white than others, so I can get some different textures going on, and we'll see how it turns out. It is like a little bit of test to see what I did and how I like it. Is it good or bad? Right now when I'm looking at these miniatures, they look okay. They're not definitely the best work I did. I think I did few miniatures better than this, but in this time frame I think it's an okay job. So yeah, okay, we are done with the dry brush. Oh, we have a comment. I find using a miniature holder makes stuff easier to paint for me. I have miniature holders. I have stuff like this, and you can put your miniature in here, you know, with a cork or whatever, or base directly. You can stretch it if you need a little bigger or smaller. But the thing is, I have only 3 of these and 4 miniatures, so I just decided to not use them and just use these like bottle caps to hold the miniatures. It's not the best solution, I'm aware, but it gets work done, so I won't mind it. Okay, now we are going to use this thermatic blue. It is really light blue color, and we are going to use almost like a dry brush, but obviously it cannot be dried. Just let me shake it firmly because I didn't use it in quite a while. So what I'm going to do is, let's just see who I did dry brush first. I think I did on this miniature or on this one. So this one looks like it's all dried off. So I'm just gonna take some paint, but I'm really going to leave it most of the paint out of the brush, so it does not let me just check on the oh yeah, that's enough. So this is almost like just pigment in the brush. This is what you can do with the contrast paints. At least I find it very interesting. So you can just spread it all around the base, because if you have like super little in it in a brush, this paint, there is no streaks going on or anything like that. So as you can see, I'm just tinting it, like giving it a little bluish color, just a little bit, to not be like pure white, because I know the snow is not blue, but it's not pure white either. So I think I saw what you were talking about, those holders that you can switch bottle caps in and out, but I very rarely use bottle caps. I just use them to spray paint the miniatures, or to airbrush them or something like that. So this is like an exception that I did just for this video, because I wanted to paint all these 4 miniatures in one go. I could have easily just take one miniature and go at it and just paint one miniature, but give it like all the highlights, all the details and everything. But I ultimately decided that, you know, because once I'm done, I would probably not paint the other miniatures, you know, they would stay unpainted, because that's how I am. I jump from project to project constantly. You know, I'm doing this thing, and then I'm painting this thing, and then this other thing, and it's always like that. So okay, this idea of blue snow is not the best idea I had ever, but it's okay. I could maybe do a regular, like a real dry brush with the white over it, just to cover most of it and leave it in some like dented areas, and the rest of it be white. So that's what I might be doing later, not now, because it is a little bit late and we are doing this for almost 2 hours. I was sure we are going to be over with it by now, but I guess we are not. Okay, now only thing left, and we will be done with these miniatures, is to paint the rim of the bases for each color. So I have blue, I have orange, that will take multiple coats to cover probably, and we need what? We need purple and we need green. So something really nice, bright green. Okay, so we have this green and purple. That would be like super easy. We are going to use this one. Okay, for that I'm going to break out a wet palette again, and I'm just going to, oh, one thing before just a grief charger gray to repair the leg of this guy, just to go over that. Now this will probably look bad, and this is not how you should be doing this, at least not with the contrast colors, but I have some experience, so I know how to blend it seamlessly. As you can see, like it was not there, right? So yeah, that is done. Now we can go, and you know what I'm going to do? This one has a nice coverage. Orange is usually very hard to paint because it does not have a strong pigment, but this pigment is really strong. So I'm just gonna lay down on this base just to have nice foundation for the orange. Then I'm going to use layer to paint the rim of this base. So this is a really nice little cheat that I just came up with, and I'm super proud of myself. I think I just sped up the process really. Like, I'll have to do like 2 or 3 coats less than I would usually have to, because oranges, yellows, those colors tend to have like really not that good pigments. So you need to like go way more times than some other colors. Yeah, I also think they look good for a 2-hour job. We're gonna inspect them closer once I'm done with the bases and everything, but I really think they're okay. Of course, they're not the best job I ever did, as I already told you. I think I can do a little bit better than that. But yeah, I think they turned out good. And there's definitely no way I could do it in an hour. No way. Unless I was really okay with lots of mistakes and everything, which I'm not. So yeah. Oh, this is really like bright green, but I'm gonna keep it because it looks really nice. You would think that I know how my paints look when I use them, but I guess I don't. So I'm just gonna go over the okay. So I think we are done in what, 15 10 minutes, something like that. So if you have any more questions or anything, shoot them now, because once we are done I am off to bed, because I need some sleep. So I'm just going one more pass with the green just to strengthen it a little bit more, to make it more opaque. Okay, so the green guy is done. I will leave the purple last because I know this purple covers really well. Everything just takes time to do. If you want to do it correctly, yes. If you are not worried how it looks, then no. Okay, so I forgot to mention, this was like a light green from Vallejo. This is Andrea blue. So as you might be noticing, I'm only using Vallejo or Citadel paints. I just find them the most suitable paints for my style of painting. Not that I tried any other paints. I think some of them I would like, but I don't know, I just enjoy how Vallejo works, and I never wanted to switch to any other paints. Even the Citadel paints I was not interested that much, but because these pots are really like, you can spill them over easily and the paints dry off really fast. But once I saw how the contrast paints work, from the first post that I saw about contrast paints, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get those. And they're not like miracle workers. You still need to have some skill, but in very skilled hands, not mine of course, in very skilled hands, I saw miniatures painted only with contrast, and Oh boy, how did those miniatures look? I'm really not sure how they manage to paint like that. It is just beyond me. But this Andrea blue I really like. You see this, just one coat, and see how opaque it is, how it really, like, there, bam. Okay, I think that this orange is now dried, so I'm going to go with the bright orange and go one pass with it, and then we'll do the purple guy and then another pass of the orange, because it will most definitely be not opaque like all these other colors. Who knows, it might even be because I never did it over the contrast colors. See, this contrast color has a really nice strong finish to it, so who knows, maybe it will work. I never did, so this is another experiment that I'm doing, to use contrast paints as base paints, base colors, for then applying other colors. Yeah, this is going to need like 2 or 3 coats to look good. One coat will just not do it, no way. It is actually too dark of a base for this orange, but okay, we'll make it work. This is definitely not the best snow I ever painted. I don't think I even painted anything in a snow. I usually just make snow on a base, like from the... I messed up a little bit, but it's fine. Okay, so we are going to wait for this one to dry off, because it's not fully opaque, and we are going to go with the purple, just purple, for this guy over here. What contrast paints did I use? Sorry, I'm shaking and talking at the same time, so it must be sound really weird. What skin I used? I used only one skin tone, and that is Guilliman Flesh. Guilliman. What is the pro? No, this is Fire Slayer. Where is it? I cannot find it. I usually have my paints sorted out, but this was like a little bit of messy, so I used this one, Guilliman Flesh. But I used it way more on this guy, and on this guy I used it a little bit less, so now they look the same on the camera, but as you can see, this one looks a little bit paler, like more pale under the certain light, because I just used a little less on the brush. I don't know how to explain it. I'm a little bit, my English is this is the time of the stream. I usually stream for an hour for a reason, because I start losing words and forget what I wanted to say. I just wander off. So just pour see, just pure purple for this rim base. Nothing hard to do, because I know this paint, and I know that it covers really well. And to refer to those showcasing miniatures with painted only with contrast paints, yeah, those look insane. Like, I was like, no way these paints can work like that, but still I decided to take a leap and got the paints, and I was blown by how it turned out. I still have the first miniature I painted with the contrast paints when I was really not knowing what I'm getting into and how they work and everything, and it still looks great, even though By then, when I was painting that miniature, I did not know how will it turn out. Am I using them correctly or whatever? But it turned out really, really, really great. And it has one of my favorite blues that I didn't use tonight for some reason. That's Achillean green. So yeah, the miniature I'm talking about is this guy for Infinity. This is a Father Officer Gabriel de Farson. The freehand is not the best. I suck at freehand, as you can see, but these colors just look awesome. Infinity really pops nicely when you paint it with contrast paints. But yeah, another coat of the orange, and I'm calling this done, and I'm calling this stream done. So let's just go with one more coat of orange, with which I think it will be enough. Yeah, it looks orange, way better. Even though the paint is not dried yet, but I'm just gonna call it done. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done, and that is 2 hours 1 minute. So I was way off with my prediction of how long it will take me to paint these miniatures, but at the end I am happy how they turned out for a 2-hour miniature painting job thingy. Okay, so let's evaluate things, and let me tell you what I think is wrong with them, why they turned out good. So this guy turned out really good, even though I used most of the blues on him, blue colors. He actually turned out really nice, and I forget to paint these marking on his shoulder with maybe different color, maybe with some white and red. He's like a red cross. It has some cross over here. So yeah, I forgot about that, but overall he looks okay. There is few little mistakes, like I missed a little place on the leg down here, but at the end I think he looks good. He did this thing that he's carrying, looks really nice. The shadows really landed on the weird spaces that make it look cool. So I would rate this one 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is, I think, fair. So next best that I painted, I think, is this guy, even though he has almost all the green colors on him, but I think he turned out really nice. There is no that many mistakes on him, so I could, let's say that he's 7, maybe. It could be better. And then we have the orange fellow, which he looks bland. He has only 2 colors on him, so he looks really weird. I don't like I think I should not have used the I just chipped some paint off the base. I think I shouldn't use the green. I should have gone with the yellow or something, just to keep it visually in a orange yellowish tones, but hey, it is how it is. And this guy I'm least liking, because I don't like contrast purple paints of contrast range. They really don't look good, and I think I really messed up his face with these sideburns and this beard, and I think it's a mess. So yeah, I could have done better with this one. Maybe I should have made this green like this guy over here, so to give it more visual interest. But overall, I don't know, this one is like 4 out of 10. This one could be better, so I give it 5. This one is 6, this one is 7. That's how I decided. Okay, I was thinking if there is enough time to paint the uh, track token, but there is no time. So yeah, and I but it is just a track token. It's fine as it is. I don't know, and I really don't know how to paint a husky dog. I really would need to look it up, and I think I would not do a good job. So I really wanted to stay away from this if possible. If I painted really these in an hour, I just might be going for this one if people would want to see it, but I know it would be a bad job. So yeah, I forgot a belt of somebody. Wait, who? Which belt? What belt did I forget? Okay, this one has a belt. This one has little belt showing here, but I could easily. Oh, this guy. You mean this guy is belt? Yeah, he has belt showing, just a little bit of belt. Yeah, but this is like a tracksuit. That's all one. This belt is part of his suit, so I'm not sure which one you're thinking when you say I forgot a belt. Because I see everyone has their belts painted. From the doctor. Doctor? He has a belt? Where? Oh, you mean this one on the back of the jacket? That belt. I know about it, but I thought it's like the same color as the jacket. So I was not looking it like being different because I don't know. I imagine it from the start that it's the same color as the jacket. I maybe could have gone with the brown, but it would look weird. Since this is like those winter jackets. Yeah, the belt on his coat. Yeah, but it is more like a winter jacket. You know, those puffy one with the feathers in it and everything. So those usually have like belts in the same color as the jacket itself. At least that's how I interpret it. So yeah, I would say these are okay. These are not the best, of course, and I can do way better. Wait. So I can do something like this, for example. This is one of my works that I'm doing on right now. Some Nurgle army for Warcry. But yeah, we are talking now about about who goes there, and there goes my voice. So I need to drink a little bit of water. Okay, listen. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for making me company while I was painting this. Thank you for all the comments and everything. It was really a pleasure to hang out with you guys, and I hope you will hang out with me again once next time. I don't know what we are going to paint, but in the meantime, if you did not back this game, go check it out because it's really great game. It works wonderful. If you have a great group of players that you know really well, this game will do wonders for you. So go check it out. Who goes there? There is a link in the description down below. And that is all from me. I have to go to bed now because it's like super late. So that is that, and until next time, pozdrav.